Hi, we've just finished doing a class. I'm Debbie Trollope from PBB Events, and the other person there is my daughter Emma, and we're both practicing midwives. So this week being National Careers Week, we thought we'd do a quick little video as to why we became midwives, and what we get out of the job, basically, just in case there's anybody out there that's thinking, oh, do you know what, I quite fancy being a midwife. For me, I had lots of different jobs before I fell into midwifery. It's something that I'd been thinking about doing for a long time since I had my babies, but didn't actually start doing the training until I was 38. Basically because there wasn't a direct entry course. So now you can go straight into midwifery. You don't have to do nursing beforehand. It's a 3-year course. While I was thinking about doing it, it was nursing first and then midwifery, and I didn't want to do nursing. That really didn't float my boat at all. So I had to wait for the enhanced diploma course to come along, and that sort of coincided when my youngest went to secondary school, so he was 11. And I think I can honestly say from the first time my feet landed on the postnatal ward, which was my first placement, I truly believed I'd found the vocation that I should have done a long time ago. But if I'd have done it a long time ago, I wouldn't have brought all the life experiences that I brought to it at 38. So I started training at 38, qualified at 41, just done 20 years, so just retired. And I have to say it's a job where you never know what you're walking into each day. It's not just about delivering babies. There's every other side to it as well. You're dealing with domestic violence. You're dealing with mums that have sadly lost babies. You're dealing with the joy of childbirth every day, of supporting parents in pregnancy, of supporting parents who have their babies and are adjusting to life with a new baby, with feeding and everything else that it involves. So it's the job where if you like the idea of learning every time you come to work, it's definitely something to consider. Because you'll never ever know everything about this job. You're learning absolutely every day that you come in, and that's the appeal. Well, it is for me as well. And obviously, you know, helping parents and being parents with that most special part of their parenthood journey is also really important. How about you, Em? Why did you join? I know you watched me train. I'm surprised you joined at all.
Well, I think that's probably why I didn't do it immediately. No, so I took my GCSEs to join midwifery, and then when I got to my A levels, I kind of thought I love drama too, and they got some new gear at school, and my plan was to go and do midwifery at uni as soon as I'd come out of A levels. But I ended up watching my mum train and think, it looks a little bit hard. Not sure that's what I want to do. And the drama department had got a whole new set of lights and technical equipment that I loved. So I thought, I could do this. This would be really awesome. Work behind the scenes and do all the sound and the lighting and the camera work. So I actually went to uni in Southampton and did a completely different course, not even remotely related to midwifery. And I did that for 18 months. And it was amazing to get that student, go out late night. Doesn't matter if you miss the odd lecture, you could still pass with flying colours. You could still catch up. It was fine. Go into the halls and then share a house and be what I call a proper student. But after 18 months, I realised there was just far too much physics in it. I was a biology girl, not a physics girl. So I actually left the course after crying on the phone to my mum, and came home. I was a nanny for a year while I reapplied to do midwifery, which I should have done in the first place. Got in, and 13 years later, here I am. Well, it's 16 years because it's 3 training.
You can't say that, Ems.
Well, no,
I say that I should have done.
No, I liked the course. It helped me. It helped me grow up a little bit. I wouldn't have got the proper student life because as a midwife, you can't have a student life. You are a midwife and you have to be there for every lecture, and you can't go out and have late nights because then you're on placement. 1, it's not professional, and 2, you just wouldn't cope with the shifts and the lectures and being a student. I mean, some people could, but I wouldn't have been able to. So I got the experience of being a proper student, if you like, before I came into midwifery. But I didn't question my choice in my training, but it was bloody hard work. Not
It is
gonna
hard
lie.
work.
It was
I think that's what
really, and
people
I
don't
didn't have
appreciate.
kids. I didn't have any kids. You had 3 of us. Buggers running around as well as doing your course. And you did an access course before, so you almost did like 4 years.
That was so important, that access course, so important, because it got you back into studying, it got your brain back into biology, because I hadn't done anything for a long time. So an access course is a great way to see if you're up to the studying before you apply for whatever course you do, to be fair. So, you know, if you're thinking about changing career, and that's something else that I think was important. It's never too late to change path, change tack. If you're not enjoying what you're doing and you're thinking you'll be better suited somewhere else, give it a go. Geez, you know, you're only here once, give it a go. And I think now the bursary's back. When I trained, I got £500 a month bursary, which happened to be what I was earning part-time doing the other little job that I was doing. So I knew that I could cope on that money. But when they took the bursary away, to go from, you know, for mature students, to go from having a full-time job to training and bringing in no money apart from a grant, how difficult must that have been?
Massive.
So, you know, on reflection, I'm pretty sure that they brought the bursary back now, because the amount of people applying for the course was dropping, understandably so. So, you know, that's something else to ask about. Do you get the bursary still? Because, you know, that plays a massive part in what we call the mature students coming through, who bring so much more with them. You know, as far as life experience goes, you're never too old to change tack, would be my message, if you're not happy doing the job that you're doing. So, yeah.
Yes, no, I agree, absolutely.
Good time to think about
become
your
a midwife. Yeah, absolutely. But so for me, like you said, stepping onto the postnatal ward, that was it. You knew you were supposed to be there. The first 3 years, well, the 3 years of training, some days I was like, what am I doing? I'm not sure this is, you know, entirely what I want to do. And the first year qualified, I questioned myself every shift, I think. It's the steepest learning curve. Yeah, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing that we question ourselves. I do it a lot. I did it the other day. And I was working with a student. Love working with students.
Don't you ever go to work thinking somebody's going to find me out in a minute and find out that I'm not really qualified enough to be here doing this job?
It's when a doctor turns to you and goes, Emma, what were your findings? Or what do you think? I'm like, what? You're asking me? I do answer them, and I answer them properly. But it's not until a couple of years in that I thought, yeah, absolutely, this is me. I know what I'm doing, sort of. But you're right, you learn every day. You can't possibly know everything, and don't ever think that you can, because things are changing so often. That either research is updating, or, you know, something's changed and you can't know everything. But that's good to know that you can't know everything. It makes you a better practitioner.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's like you say to students as well, we're not expecting you to know everything. What we're expecting you to do is know where to go and ask somebody as to what it is that you should be doing. So, yeah, it's good.
And how to practice safely.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are so many more. I think when I went for my interview, the only thing I had in my head was, don't mention the word baby too much, because it's not all about babies. But it's not until you actually look into it that you realise, I love babies. I love cuddling them. I love their beautiful little faces. I love a snuggle and then giving them back, because I've had mine, I'm done. But I actually love helping the parents to develop and empower them and become amazing parents. The baby growing up and being gorgeous is just a bonus. It's, as a midwife, midwife means with woman, and that is definitely what you are, through the good, the bad and the ugly.
Absolutely. And such a small part of the job is actually with the baby, because all of our stuff is done beforehand, that 9 months antenatal period, the birth, labour and the birth. And then, you know, most of the time we only see them up to day 10, and then we discharge them up to the health visitor. So it's a very small window with the actual babies. A lot of the other stuff is about building relationships, communicating with the parents and supporting them through that whole pregnancy, labour and birth. So if you're thinking about doing midwifery, there's lots of courses about. Uni of Hearts have one, Bedfordshire, North has, everywhere. Apply everywhere. but do an access course first if you're not, you know, fresh out of school or college or whatever, just to see if you're up to it. You'll surprise yourself, I'm sure, when you realise that you've still got some little grey cells that work, because that's always helpful. But yeah, we've certainly got no regrets doing the career that we're doing, and obviously it's led us on to PBB. We are quite unique in that we're mother and daughter, although I can think of two other teams that are both in midwifery. But yeah, it's great working with each other, and it's great doing something like PBB. So it can lead on to all sorts of things, a midwifery career. So yeah, if that's something that you fancy, give it a go.
Absolutely.
Give it a go.